Rock Cellar TV. 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 Rock Cellar TV.
The book is a book I've been working on. A piece of it came out about 6 or 7 years ago called As Far As You Can Get Without a Passport, and that's still the name of it, and it covers everything from my first acid trips in Buffalo and problems I got into back there, and hitting the road, and coming out to California, living on the street, and then meeting Jack and being a nerve, and goes on through the Plimsolls, then my solo stuff, and on through a lot of different crazy adventures in that. So it's a whole big long thing, and it keeps getting bigger, and I can't seem to stop it. And I'm always like every time I'm trying to wrap it up, I have to go on tour, So it's on my computer, and there's probably about 250 pages of it right now, with a bunch of other stuff. But maybe at some point I'll pull it out. It gets hard when you start trying to write. I mean, maybe I should stop trying to write about personal things. You start writing about girlfriends and stuff, and then you go, oh God, I just got to stop writing this. So so I did a little of that. I think I put I don't know if I put the story up about my girlfriend who threw everything I owned out the window one night. That's a good story.
You did.
And, those kind of stories, and Lori, and she's a good kid. Like my records, it's not just my records. Like, where are the chairs? Where's everything? What happened? And like the bed is even like pulled over to the window with like superhuman strength and like crammed halfway through the window. And then the police came and stopped her. I was up at the whiskey, and these guys go, the police just took Lori away at your place. We'd had a few margaritas earlier that evening. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But that kind of thing. So like those kind of stories, though, you get hung up on those,
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Tell me about your teaching songwriting.
Oh yeah. Well, anyhow, about the book though, it'll probably come out. We have a couple different publishers interested, and we're hoping to get it out probably next year.
Oh, good. Tell me about your songwriting classes.
It's just something I do because people asked me to do it, and I started doing it, and it worked out. So I do some songwriting workshops with people that are really, if you're really interested in it. I work with people that want to write songs, But, you can't really teach people how to write songs exactly, but you can really help them through a lot of their different problems if they're committed to the process. So that's what I do. I mean, I've really improved some of the people's songs. Like if you do what I tell you to do, you do really well. But, your songs can get better quickly. But a lot of people have a hard time listening or doing, songwriting's tricky, maybe it takes a certain amount of like aptitude in the first place. But I teach at Blue Bear Music in San Francisco, and I teach over there maybe once or twice a year for a few weeks.
Very cool. What do you think are the key things to be able to tap into that creativity, to keep it flowing, and to be able to, just to be able to keep moving forward without redoing the same things you've done? How do you keep it fresh?
I don't know, just desire to do it. If you really have the desire to really do it, and I mean like the real desire to do it, then everything takes care of itself. But you gotta, if you really have the desire to do it, it makes you look everywhere and study everything and figure out why it's happening the way it is. So you listen to the Brill Building songwriters, you listen to the great American Songbook guys, you read poetry, you read every interview with Pete Townsend, you just do everything. You do everything. You listen to Motown. You learn all the Motown material. You play it in a band. You do everything. You don't just learn like some little slice of things. Like Pete Buck, for example. He knows like a million things about music. Or John Lennon knew everything about music. He just him and McCartney, like they knew like old standards and like. And like that's the same with, Townsend knew all his blues and all sorts of weird stuff. And like I know, you can pull out like all millions of different things, and like I've been studying it since I was a kid. And so like, it's hard to do something new if you don't know what's been done and know what makes it tick. And so that's like one of the things. I mean, really the best way to teach music would just be to learn a bunch of songs and write imitations of them until you found your own voice,
Rock Cellar TV. 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 Rock Cellar TV.